Hello and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Fantastic Mr. Podcast. Tonight, on this special holiday episode, we're going to talk about Christmas movies versus Christmas quotes, of course, and what exactly the difference is. So sit back in the sleigh, fire up the cookie/cocoa dispenser, and get ready for us to deliver the best present you'll get this year. So this week, every week I have my two lovely co-hosts, Jake Kramers and Zach Briggs. Say hello, guys.
Hello, Gav.
Happy holidays, everyone that's listening from around the world.
From around the world. We like to think that we're being listened to from around the world anyway.
I think
today we're going to talk about Christmas movies versus Christmas movies.
What does that mean?
Christmas is in quotes. So I just want to get your idea of what a Christmas movie might be in your words. And when I say Christmas movie, like what people think of when they, hear the word Christmas movie.
I'll go first. When I think of a Christmas movie, I think in overt themes of family, of belonging. We see images of Santa Claus, the stories revolving around the celebrations of Christmas, whether they're plans that are heard because of some reason, many reasons, they're trying to get to some place, or they're being attacked by bad guys, or maybe it's just they're trying to buy the last ham at the grocery store and be able to prepare for their daughter's arrival with their new boyfriend.
What is that movie?
That's Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh,
with Tim Allen.
Okay, I guess
Underrated
I haven't seen it. I was like, that's very
based
specific.
Based off the book Skipping Christmas.
Gotcha.
But that's a classic. It's for my my mom's one of her favorite movies when it comes to the Christmas times. But that's what I think of when I think of Christmas. Just strictly Christmas movies. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What about you, Jake?
I'd have to agree. The thematic elements of Christmas: hope, family, togetherness, joy, peace, and all the other stuff that goes with it. So, Santa Claus, religion, Jesus Christ, and the other religions as well. But if it has to do with snow or the holidays, or I think it being a central theme to the movie, that's what makes it a Christmas movie.
I've actually, in the last couple of days, watched a few Christmas movies. I watched Home Alone, a classic. I was looking at below it, it says, maybe you'll like these movies. Of course, I had Home Alone 2 and Home Alone 3, which Home Alone 3 came out in 97. Well, then I saw that there's a literal Home Alone 4.
That's a no good movie. It's a bad movie.
It's supposed to be Kevin McAllister in Home Alone 4.
Oh, really? Look it up on IMDb. It gives me Home Alone 4 in 2020, but it's definitely not the same movie. It looks like a horror movie. Like it has the same name, but it's not the same.
But in that Home Alone movie.
I found it on freaking IMDb. There's all these Home Alone 4s, not the one I'm looking for. Why are there so many Home Alone 4s? I don't understand that. Home Alone
Jeez, I'm seeing
4.
one.
2002 film. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, I Googled it, and it pulls it up. Oh, yeah, Kevin McAllister. And he looks a lot younger in Home Alone 4. Anyway, I saw Home Alone 4. I saw Home Alone Holiday Heist, I think it was.
Never heard of that one.
And then I guess it came out, Home Alone Holiday Heist came out in 2012. And then we have Home Sweet Home Alone, which came out recently, 2021. It's a Disney Plus original.
Wowzers. 3.6 out of 10 IMDb.
Yes. I was going to say that I heard
even sound
not good things
appealing.
about. No. Home Alone 3, I watched Home Alone 3 randomly and I was like, this isn't that good, but it's not like, I wasn't like, oh, this is horrible. But I was like, it's a different kid.
It's
It was
definitely
okay.
aimed to
It
a
was
different
very okay. The other
audience.
ones I haven't even seen.
Yeah, it's definitely aimed to a different audience, but it doesn't try to pretend that it's the same kid. Like it's clearly a different kid. It's a different situation. The only thing that it shares is just the fact that they're both kids home alone. Like it's a completely different situation.
The name?
Yeah,
Well,
so it gets a pass from me.
yeah, I
It's
agree.
a standalone sequel, according to Wikipedia, to Home Alone 2.
Yeah, it's not. It has nothing to do with the McAllisters, like Home Alone 4 apparently does.
Uh,
Okay, and then I watched right after that. I was up pretty late last night, guys. I just got the Arkham trilogy for the Nintendo Switch, so I was playing the crap out of that. I was watching Christmas movies while I was playing my game, and I watched Home Alone. I watched the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Forgot how funny that movie was.
nice.
Y'all seen the Santa Claus,
Yeah,
right?
multiple
Of
times as a kid with my
course.
cousin.
Yeah, we had it on VHS, and like I didn't understand the whole premise of the Santa Claus when I was a kid when it first came out because I was a kid. Of course, now being an adult, you understand that he pretty much signed a contract when he put on this suit,
Yeah.
and then he became
Yeah,
Santa Claus.
as a kid, you're just like, ha, fat man falls off roof. But as an adult, you're like, oh, this
Yeah,
is a
well,
complex legal situation this man has encountered.
yeah, exactly. That's why there's like a red E at the end of the word clause because Santa
Yeah.
Claus isn't spelled with an E, but the word clause is, and so
A
I never
clause.
understood that. I just thought it was like some sort of fancy marketing, fancy font type stuff, font type stuff. And then today I watched It's a Wonderful Life, which I think is probably, and I'll talk about this later, is my favorite Christmas movie, like legit Christmas movie. So that's what I've been doing, trying to get in some Christmas movies. I did see Christmas Vacation in theaters the other day. Have y'all seen Christmas Vacation, right?
Once. I wasn't for me. It was just too a little
Oh
too
my god, it
wacky.
was so funny. I was like, I'd seen it once before, and I was an adult when I saw it the first time, but I didn't really remember it. And then I watched it this time, and I was like, this movie is so freaking funny. Like you kind of, I don't know, you kind of forget about those wacky '80s comedy movies, but this was kind of like almost like I saw it in theaters because they're at the movie tavern. They're playing a bunch of like Christmas classics, and you can buy like it's called a passport, they call it, and basically you pay $20 to see four of these Christmas movies, and so the only one I've seen so far is Christmas Vacation. It was pretty funny.
Or were the other ones?
Oh, there was a lot. There was a lot. There's probably like 12 or something, like a bunch. I don't even remember what they are. I know It's a Wonderful Life was in there. Meet Me in St. Louis was one of them. I didn't get to go see It's One The Grinch Stole Christmas. Jim Carrey's The Grinch, that is. So just a bunch of random. Fred Claus was one of them, which I thought was really weird. And like they went, my brother is the one who invites me to these things, and they went and saw Fred Claus yesterday, and they were like, "Do you want to go?" I was like, "Not really." Like I remember seeing that movie when it first came out, and I was like, it was okay, but like it was just okay.
Like, what are you
I
looking
don't know.
for when you want to and just enjoy a Christmas movie? What type of like a comedy, good
Hmm.
drama, or what are you hoping?
Well, not necessarily dramas. Drama, I think, would be is too serious for Christmas, but I do like some comedy. I like bizarre twists on Christmas movies. So like the Santa Claus is one of those. I don't know if y'all have seen Violent Night, but it's one of those kind of weird, not weird, but like something you really wouldn't expect, which is like,
Kind of a
Santa comes to
genre
this rich
bending.
family's house. Yeah, and it's like John Wick with Santa Claus. Except for John Wick, it's a little more sloppy than what John Wick does as far as like fighting and stuff goes. Because
Yeah,
Santa
because it's
Claus
a
isn't like a
fat Santa
professional
Claus
fighter.
doing this.
He, well, he used to be a
Yeah.
warrior.
Well, yeah, he was a warrior back in the day, but like that was like hundreds of years ago when he
He's
was
out of shape now.
like a warrior. But yeah, um, but I really really enjoy that. Like one of the most recent Christmas movies is Violent Night. And I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I like it when they take something and kind of do like a little bit of a twist on it.
You also saw Silent Night. That was another movie you saw recently.
Yeah, Silent Night was very, very just okay. I did see that. That's not one of the package movies, but it was at the same theater that all these other classic movies are showing. And I don't know if I understand or know what Silent Night is about, like a gas company or electric company or something. His kid gets shot in a drive-by, but he also gets shot because he goes chasing after the guys and he gets shot in the throat. And then they pretty much like shoot out his vocal cords so he can't talk. There's there's very, 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 very minimal dialogue spoken by the actors in the movie. The only people you can hear talking is like through radios, through speakers, through walkie-talkies, music.
Interesting.
So it's an interesting concept. Just wish they would have done it with a different actor. It's that dude that plays Rick Flag in Suicide Squad, which I didn't care for him in that movie either. And so I was like, a different actor, I think would have been fine. Maybe a different, I don't know. I guess different actor. Maybe some different writing. I don't know, man. It was very, like, I would never see that movie again.
But that's not what you would call like your typical Christmas movie.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I did like the idea of, his vocal cords getting ripped out so nobody can speak, So like there was hardly any dialogue.
Was the song really cool, Silent Night included in the movie at any point in some fashion?
Yeah, it was in like an orchestral way.
I can imagine the slow-mo and shots, bullets ringing out and rock RPGs perhaps. I don't know. Something dramatic like that.
RPGs. No, there were no RPGs. But I get what you're saying. Like some crazy action while Silent Night's being played. No, it was more like weird, not weirder. The song Silent Night through an orchestra. Kind of darker, almost like a minor chord type thing.
Kind of like how trailers will take like modern songs or old songs, any type of song, and really change the tone.
Yeah. It's like on Black Widow with Smells Like Teen Spirit at the beginning, So that's the most recent, newer Christmas movie I saw. I ate some nachos. Remember that time we ate nachos at the movie tavern, Zach?
We get to the very end. It was at the popcorn at the very end. It was
the popcorn. You got nachos.
Yeah.
And you thought it had been given to somebody else. And then he was like, no, those are his.
It was taking ages. It was taking ages. So I was like, I was going to say something.
That's like when you go to a restaurant and someone gets their food before you. You're like, they clearly came in after us. Yeah, why are they getting their food?
Well, then after that, I did not get any popcorn that I ordered. And they dropped the check off and the popcorn was on the check. So I was like, hey, man, you never gave me my popcorn. Can you just take the popcorn off? And he goes, I said, hey, I never got my popcorn. And he didn't give me a chance to be like, just take it off the check. And he runs away, comes back with the popcorn. The movie's almost over. And I was like, no, dude, I don't want the popcorn now. Just take it off my check. He goes, oh, I'll just leave it here and take this off your check. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to eat it. And I left it there. I didn't touch it. Kind of out of principle. It's not that I didn't want it, but I was like, this movie is so almost over. There's no sense in me getting this popcorn now. So that was our trip to the movie tavern, mine and Zach's.
What was the movie again?
Shazam.
Wow.
It must not have been that interesting if you remember the nachos and popcorn better than the movie.
But it's because the nachos and popcorn was different than any other time you would normally get nachos and popcorn. So when things like that happen, you remember them. And it's just.
I was thinking about it.
The movie. Yeah.
I was thinking about it in the movie.
That's the one bad thing about going to those type of movie theaters where they serve you actual food and you have servers running up and down the aisles is they come up and then people are talking and hey, can I get a fork? Can I get napkins? And then they're like, hey, whose nachos are these? And you're like, shut the F up. I just want to watch this movie. But their food isn't bad when it gets to you.
Better than the Alamo Draft House, I got to say. Just the bigger venue, auditoriums.
Is it the same company?
I don't know, but
Marcus Theaters?
Not sure, but new movie tavern's just a lot bigger. It's like a normal theater, but and the Alamo Draft House, the tables, they don't. At least mine didn't move. You have to lean forward to take a bite of anything.
Oh,
Ridiculous.
yeah. I couldn't sit all the way back in my seat because I wanted to eat. And like the second time we went was just when I saw Christmas Vacation. I got some like loaded fries. And so I could back and eat them because they would like drip all over me. So I had to like lean forward and eat it like a rat.
I love it.
So sorry, we kind of,
Back to Christmas
yeah,
movies.
we kind of sidetracked there. All right. So now we'll talk about quote unquote Christmas movies is what I was about to say. Christmas movies. So what do y'all think a quote unquote Christmas movie might be?
Want to go, Jake?
I mean, it's not hard. It's
I guess
simply
it
a
is.
movie that happens to take place during the holiday season, but it doesn't have to be during the holiday
Mhm.
season. The holiday season is just a backdrop with whatever's going on. Like there's no actually reference to any thematic themes of the holiday or influence of the holiday season over what happens. It's just a pretty backdrop for whatever's happening in the film. So I would say, and this will be controversial, I would say like Die
Mhm.
Hard would be a quote unquote, Christmas movie. It's not a Christmas movie. It just happens to take place during Christmas. Get in the
Yeah.
comments. Throw your
I don't think
literal at
Yeah.
me.
I don't, yeah, I don't think that's controversial. I think
Die Hard?
anybody will agree that Die Hard takes place during Christmas time. Now, whether it's a Christmas movie or a quote unquote Christmas movie, that's where your controversy, begins. It's during Christmas time. It's like, well, yeah, yeah, it is and it isn't, right? If it shares the themes and the whole Christmas spirit, that's when it kind of goes into that Christmas movie territory. If it just happens to take place on Christmas, yeah, it's kind of a gray area where it can, but then you're like, I don't want it to be a Christmas movie. I just want it to be a regular movie that takes place during Christmas. But some of them, like the Holdovers, I think, is a Christmas movie.
Yes,
What
you
is the
recently saw
holdovers for
that.
people
Yeah,
that don't know?
yeah, you recently saw that in
Yeah,
theaters.
we bumped it.
Regale us.
Actually,
What's the brief synopsis?
Zach.
Brief synopsis.
So the
Justin.
Holdovers is about a teacher boys boarding school who gets stuck watching students that are having to be held over during Christmas time. So they don't get to go home for the holidays. They just have to stay at school until school starts again. And this teacher, who's like he's a history teacher, I think,
Yes.
and he's very smart, very intellectual, but because of that, he's also very snobby and thinks he's better and smarter than everyone else, which he probably is, or at least smarter than most of the people at that school. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of that movie, and I really really enjoyed that movie. Like I really liked it. Probably one of my favorite movies of this year. I need to compile a list of all the movies I watched and make a list and see which ones are my favorite. Sorry, go ahead. Um, so yeah, that's the Holdovers. Zach saw it twice.
I did. 1970 aesthetic in the way it was made, from the mono audio to the grain of the shots and the scenes, the establishing shots of the movie with this choir singing some beautiful song I've heard before. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but just those long establishing shots of somewhere in New England, comfortable, cozy Christmas environment.
Well, and it was
First couple
snowy.
minutes, and it was snowy.
Yeah, it snowed the whole time.
But then the movie dives into this kind of clever humor with Paul Hunnam, whom Paul Giamatti he plays, and he's fantastic. I would like to see him win some awards recognition for that role. And Angus Tully is one of the students that he is the main student he has this real bond with. And there's this cook who is in the process of grieving over the death of her son who died in the Vietnam War. Her name is Mary Lamb. And I remember Justin, that in the church scene where it shows, it's like the buildup to like it says something about here's the Barton Boys and here's Barton Boys from this year, and it's like a compilation of different shots before we even get to
Oh yeah.
see the picture of her son. I thought that was
Right.
pretty cool, just like from a editing standpoint.
Yeah.
But the movie really dives into the relationships of between these three characters, Angus, Mary, and the professor, Mr. Hunnam.
Yeah.
And they each have their own challenges. You could argue these themes of belonging, of loneliness, of ostracization, being ostracized. Mary being African American, and there's this one scene where one of the students, before they all go off to enjoy themselves with one of the students and their father, like there's this kind of subtle scene of potential racism. I'd say, like, why during the dinner scenes, like, why is she here or something? Why does she have to sit here? And she just kind of just walks off. So she's dealing with multiple things on top of the grief of her son. But yeah, I mean, those type of themes could be explored during any time of the year, but I think they come to light even more so during the holidays.
I would agree.
Because
seasonal effect.
it's a time when you're supposed to be with no family, ideally.
Well, and it's I could argue that the reason I say this is a Christmas movie is because they kind of create their own little family, and all they have at that point. So they create, some sort of togetherness as far as Christmas goes, because I think they even have a Christmas dinner, don't they? Or
they do.
Because right before they go to Chicago, I think, because Angus wants to go to Chicago. Boston, yes,
yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, they have like a makeshift Christmas dinner, if you will, and they're together and whatever.
Cookies,
and they go to Boston together.
Hard cookies.
That's right.
Anti-religion, and yeah.
That was funny. He's like gives them the same present, and then later you see that he's got like a whole box of those books. When I was watching, I was like, he's got a whole box of those, I bet.
Now, did you expect that trip to Boston would lead to Angus going to see his father? Because I remember there were mentions of his father, I believe, earlier, and that phone call he had with his mother. He was like angry that he wanted to be able to go home. Like, I want to go to Boston. I want some money to go to Boston. I don't know if he didn't admit then that he wanted to go see his father.
No, you're right. No, I didn't. I just assumed that his father was in like an institution, wasn't he?
And yeah, it's kind of a mental institution for the insane, basically.
Yeah,
especially.
We find out it's for his father, and then on top of that, we find out where his father has been all these years, which was in an institution. He's been institutionalized.
He was bummed out.
That was a nice touch.
He was bummed out totally when he on his way back to the school was like, yeah, all right, he still doesn't know who I am, really.
Let's talk about Die Hard specifically. I was going to watch it today, but I ended up not watching it because I just did other things. But Jake, you've seen Die Hard.
Have you never seen it?
I haven't seen it. No, dude, we've had this conversation.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Never seen it.
What?
I've never seen it.
Wow.
You said that last time too.
Yeah,
emphasize you've never seen it.
for real quick for the audience, we're having to re-record this episode because I lost it. My computer's been acting up, so we're re-recording this. So yes, no, I have not seen it. I almost watched it today, and then I was like, I'm gonna do other stuff. Well, actually, when I was done with It's a Wonderful Life, I only had like, I don't know, a couple hours left to go, and I didn't feel like watching another movie and having to squeeze it in. So anyway, yeah, let's talk about Die Hard because you've seen Die Hard, Jake.
Yeah, I sure have.
So what is Die Hard about?
Pretty much it's Christmas Eve and New York City Department Detective John McClane heads to his is not his ex-wife. I don't think they're divorced yet, but they're definitely separated. And so she's moved across country, and he heads across country to trying to make up with her and have a Christmas together with her. And she's at a company party in this high-rise building, and just as he arrives there, it just happens to be taken over by some terrorists. and they're holding
Nakatomi
everyone
Plaza.
hostage. Yeah, Nakatomi Plaza. And so, as the kind of like the hero that he is, he's the only one that was able to get by unnoticed. And so the movie is him fighting his way through this tower, aided by some great resources from the Los Angeles police and a cabbie. Um, and he fights his way through the tower to reclaim their freedom and, profess his, love for his wife.
So we have Bruce Willis as John McClane, right? And there's a really good show on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us. And one of the movies it talks about is Die Hard. And it's one of those classic cases of like taking an actor who doesn't usually do like action movies and putting him in an action movie. And then it turns out to be like
His bill,
like box
his
office.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it turns out to be like this great, profit for Hollywood. And he was in like romantic comedies and stuff beforehand, and then
yeah,
they cast him as John McClane. And
people didn't think
just
he was
like,
going to be able to do it. They didn't think he was going to be able to do it because he was a staple in romance stuff, but he was a big actor in a daytime soap opera. He was like the romance like character in this daytime romance soap opera, and so people
yeah,
only saw him. He was typecast as
I do
this
vaguely remember that too.
as this kind of cheesy soap opera character, and so they took a big chance casting him as this action hero. Not unlike people still complain about Robert Pattinson and his roles as like Batman and the Lighthouse, and whenever he comes up with anything,
Man,
people are always like, "Oh, the Twilight guy. He's a great actor." But
dude, he is a wonderful actor. Him and like, I know this is a little side note, but him and like Zac Efron, great
mhm.
actors. Even though they were in like these,
if you can
stupid movies when they
if you can
first
get
started out.
past
But,
if you can get past like the awkward gangly teenage years that they all go through,
mhm.
like they're great actors.
Yeah,
It's just they just have the
yeah.
misfortune of having those years recorded in AAA blockbusters.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, what are you going to do? You get offered a role. It's your first big role. You're going to take it usually.
Yeah.
Like, and then that's just what you're known as. You just have to deal with that. It's like, yeah, it's like anytime you become a nothing sense, but like besides like Comic Cons and stuff, but like the same with Bruce Willis. They saw him as this romantic comedy / soap opera guy, and then he gets cast in, Die Hard. Now look at him; he does action movies all over the place.
Exactly. Well,
He's also in
not
a lot of
anymore.
Wes Anderson movies.
Wes Anderson.
Well, yeah,
Not anymore, unfortunately.
but that's for.
But anyway, but it's a great example.
That's further.
That's a great example of a movie taking place during Christmas and really having nothing to do with Christmas whatsoever. Like
Yeah,
the only way that it applies to the movie at all is his wife's company is having a Christmas party, and that's why they're all in the building at the same time to be taken hostage. That's the only way that it correlates.
Yeah, so you would agree that it's not necessarily a Christmas movie in the sense that like Home Alone is a Christmas movie and all that, but it is
It is a movie that takes place during Christmas, but it is not
I would agree.
a Christmas movie in the classical sense.
Yeah. So, are there any other movies that you guys want to talk about before I have a couple articles I'd like to go through, but if you guys have anything else you want to say.
That are non-typical, non-traditional Christmas movies that are like the quote unquote Christmas movies.
Whatever you want to talk about.
I'll just mention it. Batman Returns.
Yeah.
That's snowing throughout that movie. It's snowing throughout the entire movie.
And it's a freaking penguin in there.
Yeah.
So, of course, he like controls other birds too, I think. Is that no, I'm thinking of there's like other instances where the penguin doesn't just control penguins, but he also controls like other birds. I've seen him in other things control. I think it was animated series. He controlled other birds, not just a penguin, but it was like a bird that could actually fly.
Yeah.
Anyway, that has nothing to do with what you're talking about. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. But Batman Returns has the background of Christmas, but it's hardly even
No.
the focus, obviously. Another movie you could say is, When Harry Met Sally. There's scenes of Christmas. There's scenes of Valentine's. There's New Year's. So,
well, yeah,
there's so many movies you can name.
Well, with Harry Met Sally, it's a little bit of a different story, right? Because that movie is just about. Because how many years does that movie span? I've seen it once with you. That's with Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Is it Meg Ryan? So, does that have a what's her face in it?
Love her work.
Princess Leia.
Fisher, yeah, it does.
Carrie Fisher, thank you. God, way younger Carrie Fisher. That movie, it couldn't help but talk about Christmas, right? Because it spans several years. Basically how they run into each other at random times, and they never date until the end of the movie, I think. They get together. Yeah. Spoiler alert. Okay, so I do have an article that is called 20 Great Christmas Movies That Aren't Christmas Movies. So let's talk about them. Some of them I haven't seen. Okay, there's one called The Thin Man. Have you all heard of this movie? 1934.
Thin Man, no.
Yeah, me neither. Let's see. That's what makes it a great Christmas adjacent movie, is what it calls it. That's just a good term for it. I like that. Christmas adjacent. Retired San Francisco detective Nick Charles and his rich wife, Nora, are spending the holidays in New York City. Naturally, they agree to investigate a case involving a disappearance of a friend and a murder. So it's basically a detective place during Christmas, looks like. Another one's called Lady on a Train. Never heard that one either. Mystery novel loving woman witnesses a murder while on a train and no one believes her. That sounds interesting, actually. It's 1945. Looks like these movies are going in order of year. Lady in the Lake. Have you heard of this movie?
No. What year are we at?
Not 1947. Let's see. From Lady on the Train, we go to One in a Lake. That's funny. This is a noir where director Robert Montgomery uses the first-person camera techniques, so we experience everything the way the main character sees it.
That's interesting.
That's interesting for 1947. We don't see Montgomery that much, except for introduction to mirror reflections. Cool. Next one's called Cover Up, 1949. You've probably never heard of this film noir, but it's well worth seeking out. An insurance investigator goes to a small Midwestern town to find out if a suicide victim actually killed himself or was murdered. It seems like a lot of these are
all dark
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. It's kind of cool, right? All right. The next movie. Zach, you want to guess what the next movie is?
What year?
Well, we just did 1949. I don't want to tell you the year of this movie because it might give it away.
White Christmas.
The Apartment.
The Apartment. Dang. Hey, wait, this list is for non-traditional, like the quote-unquote type Christmas movies?
Yeah, it says it's called 20 Great Christmas Movies That Aren't Christmas Movies.
Yeah, The Apartment I would agree with.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
that also deals with suicide.
Yeah.
Or the thoughts of it.
Because like before, I think I mentioned this. I didn't realize that the pills she was going to take were to kill herself. I just thought
this is the dude who rents out his apartment for his boss, right?
For his boss and his coworkers, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
So he can get a promotion.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I like that.
I don't remember it taking place during Christmas.
He's funny.
Centric though.
Nah.
It just happened to take place on Christmas.
New Year's also happens as well at the end. New Year's.
Next one is called Blast of Silence. I've never heard of these. A lot of movies I've never heard of. 1961.
Blast of Silence.
Unlike Cover Up, there's ultimately nothing overtly Christmassy about this stylish, low-budget crime drama about a hitman who comes to New York City for a job. Okay. Then we have 3 Days of the Condor. Never heard of this movie either.
Seems familiar, but I've heard of the name, I think.
A movie where all of Robert Redford's coworkers are murdered because he gets too close to a government conspiracy, forcing him to go on the run as he's hunted down. Robert Redford movie.
All the President's Men. That's where I know him from.
Man, that was I would
I am
yeah, I
so.
would love to. Well, I was not a journalist, but
Yes, you were. You were putting together stories
no, I wasn't. You were putting together
in the
stories
form
from
of
me,
teases.
your story.
It's still a form of storytelling.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I guess
Those
you're
quick
right.
little bits.
All right, the next movie is called Trading Places. I have heard of this movie with Danny DeVito and not Danny DeVito, Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, where one of them's poor, the other one's rich. Two rich jerks make a bet about what will happen when they strip another rich guy of his wealth and transfer it to a homeless guy, played by Eddie Murphy.
Kind of sounds cool.
So it's one of those reversal of fortune type movies like Overboard. I don't know if y'all seen Overboard, but then we have Lethal Weapon, which I guess takes place during Christmas time. I think I've seen this movie once, and it was when I was a kid. I don't know if you have seen Lethal Weapon before, but it's Mel Gibson and Danny Glover.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's Mel Gibson's like the younger, more wild detective, while Danny Glover's the older, wiser, not as wild detective.
It's
for an LA action
interesting.
movie.
It's interesting to me how many of these Christmas movies are action and drama.
And detective.
What is it about?
movies.
What is it? Yeah, what is it about Christmas that makes such a great backdrop?
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, I guess it helps with making the shots look pretty. I don't know. I mean, I guess if I watch a movie with a lot of snow in it, regardless what the movie is, I'll think of Christmas. And I think snow is pretty.
I think it's that
like snow. I love snow.
It's that contrast of the beauty of the themes of Christmas and the scenery, as Justin said, comparing that to this like the drastic death and
The grit.
suicide. Yeah, the grit. Just like the
kinda
contrast.
It's kind of like counterpoint in film where you have a song playing or you have a big brawl fight or something going on, but then there's like this happy, song that doesn't match the fight, but it goes well with the scene. You know what I mean?
The
Just
compare
imagine,
and
just
contrast.
imagine seeing like a beautiful Christmas tree, seeing a beautiful Christmas tree, and suddenly just pour some blood on it. Like someone would say, "But it's Christmas. But it's Christmas. Why is there blood on the tree?"
Well, like in Violent Night, there's a scene where one of the guys falls out the window and he falls onto like a giant. I think it's like a giant plastic icicle or something.
Yes. Yeah.
And dies. So
Gets
it's just
impaled.
yeah, he does. He gets straight up impaled, and so it's just one of those like it's Christmas time, but there's murder. I don't know. Yeah, there's this kind of whole contrast between the two. Okay, next is a movie called Metropolitan in 1990. Most Christmas movies, even ones that aren't quote unquote Christmas movies, which I think their version of quote unquote Christmas movies are different than ours, take place in the lead up to the holiday, with the day it's serving as a backdrop for the story's merry climax. Let's see. I've never heard of him. Classic indie film Metropolitan. Story is set in those sleepy, dreamlike days between Christmas and New Year's Eve in New York. Okay. Preppy protagonists drunkenly dance their way through Manhattan, presented here as a gauntlet of galas and after parties and classic six apartments.
Interesting.
Okay. This sounds like Dazed and Confused, the Christmas version.
Yeah, it's a lot of young looking people.
There's nothing really going on. Yeah, there's nothing really going on. It's just, we're just following.
It looks kind of boring just looking at the images. Every image I think I see of this movie is of people smoking, sitting around a table in suits.
Nobody I've ever heard of. All right, cool. Moving on. All right. Next one.
You just offended perhaps one of these cast members that's listening to it.
That's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but I'm not going to lie to you. I've never heard of them. Never heard of the movie till today. All right. Next movie. You want to guess what it is, Zach?
Don't know what year we're at.
We just did 1990. Here's a hint. We already talked about this.
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
92.
People generally don't think much of Batman Returns, perhaps because they can't get past the grossness of Danny DeVito's sad penguin character, or because some of the set pieces are over the top. But that makes sense. It's freaking Tim Burton.
Yeah, come on, people. I see that for sure. Even the beginning with the music, you have that choir going on, and the baby penguin, baby Cobblepot being tossed into the river and into the tunnel, and then the Batman signal. That's the theme. Come see.
Yeah,
Holidays.
I agree.
In a weird Burton way.
Tim Burton. Okay, the next movie is Little Women, which is the 1994 version of Little Women. And I do think I've seen the most recent version, and I think if I remember correctly, it does take place during Christmas time. It was okay.
Yeah.
Based off the book, Little Women. Okay. Next one is called The Long Kiss Goodnight. I have heard of this movie, but I've never seen it. Writer Shane Black really loves Christmas, even if they aren't Christmas centric. Many of his movies are set during the holidays, including Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Lethal Weapon, The Nice Guys. Next one is L.A. Confidential, which I have seen L.A. Confidential. It's been a while. I saw it in film school. It begins on Christmas Eve with a violent police station brawl as several cops juiced up on massively spiked eggnog. Wow. The next one is You've Got Mail. I've never seen You've Got Mail, but I know it's got Tom Hanks.
Have you seen Sleepless?
I've never seen You Got Mail.
Sleepless in Seattle?
Great.
No. I haven't seen very many of these 90s rom-coms. Like,
listen.
The only reason I saw When Harry Met Sally was because I watched it with you and Mandy.
Listen.
Zach.
90s rom-coms are slept on. The rom-coms from the 90s and early 2000s are absolutely smashing.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. If you just like film, you need to watch those.
Okay, do me a favor, Jake. I almost called you Zach and Jake at the same time. Do me a favor. Give me like your top 5 90s. Actually, just give me your top 5 rom-coms and I'll watch them.
Top 5 rom-coms. Well,
yep.
No,
not right now.
Why are you
think about
asking
it?
me?
No, I'm saying like later on. Give me because I won't remember them. Just type them into the messenger.
I'll message you.
I'll watch them.
Good.
Yeah, I'll message you. That's what you just said. Yeah. Give me your top 5 and I'll watch them. All right, You've Got Mail. I remember
I still feel like you baited me with that question, but okay.
How? Because you started answering it?
Yeah, you knew I was going to answer it.
I actually didn't think you were going to answer it. I thought I don't know what I thought. Okay, just tell me later. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, You've Got Mail. I remember You've Got Mail when it came out because of AOL. AOL, You've Got Mail.
What years was this? What year was this?
1998.
Yeah, I was a little kid. I remember.
Yeah.
You were older.
I was older, way older. I was like 1998. I was probably 12.
Yeah.
No, not 12.
I don't remember what I was doing at 12.
1998. I was like 11 or 12. Yeah.
You Got Mail.
Yeah, I just remember that. It's a Nora Ephron movie though, and they spelled Nora Ephron wrong in this freaking list. Now it makes me wonder about the legitimacy of this freaking list. They put it Nora Ephron. Anyway, next movie is Catch Me If You Can. I have seen Catch Me If You Can. I saw it once. It's been a while.
Interesting. I don't remember Christmas at all.
Well, it says released on Christmas Day 2002.
Oh.
Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can may be light on Santa and Reindeer, but as Carrie Whitmer pointed out, which I don't know who the crap Carrie Whitmer is, it perfectly captures the experience of feeling lonely during the supposed happiest season of the year.
Wait, which is this like the first version of the movie or the one with Tom Hanks?
2002.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't feel like getting released on Christmas makes it.
I don't either. I agree with you. I don't think this should be on this list. I thought it was kind of weird when I saw it earlier, but I was like, I'll check it out.
There's multiple movies that come out on Christmas Day.
Yeah, there's
some this year. I forgot what ones they are, but
well, let's look. Movies that release.
I remember Wonka was advertised. Oh, in this Christmas, Wonka. but it comes
Well, I
out.
mean, because it is Christmas time. It's just not
Yeah,
Christmas
but still.
Day. Which, by the way, I saw Wonka today, and it was enjoyable. But I am okay not ever seeing it again.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be jumping for joy to see it in theaters anytime
Yeah.
soon. It'll be in there. It'll be in theaters for a little bit, I'm sure.
Let's see. I'm trying to.
Saltburn was excellent, though. That's not a
Yeah.
Christmas movie.
No, it's not even a movie that like children should see. The only reason I say this because Christmas movies are, children.
Not family friendly.
Violent Night's not really family friendly, to be honest.
No,
Maybe a teenager, perhaps, but
it is a Christmas movie.
it is.
very much so. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking to see what movies release on Christmas Day. So, there was a movie I could have swore. Oh wait, Ferrari releases on Christmas Day. So does that make it a Christmas movie? I don't think so, or even close.
Is that the one with Adam Driver?
Yeah, Adam Driver. That's funny. I'll probably see this. I actually am interested only because of Adam Driver. I don't give a crap for Penelope Cruz, which she's also in the movie.
They're playing Italians.
Yeah. He's got a nice little accent, too. Next movie is The Chronicles of Narnia, which we talked about in our original recording of this episode. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which I have not seen. And Jake was like, "You haven't seen that? Oh, my God."
I resent that. I resent that impression of me. And two, you need to see it.
I will eventually. I don't know, man. Maybe. Snow-covered fantasy world rooted in Christian symbolism, with an abundance of mythical creatures that exist only for children, because they're the only ones who believe in the magic of it all. Okay, I do know. Isn't there like a goat person in this movie?
Oh my God!
So yes, I assume that was a yes. Correct.
Yes.
Is Jake okay? Is Jake okay? Viewers are wondering.
Well, I'm hurting.
I was
Listeners.
watching this episode of Family Guy, and Peter's taking laundry out of the dryer, and he pulls out a sock. He's like, "Oh man, I missed another sock," and he sticks his head in there, and it's the goat guy. And he goes into Narnia, and the goat guy's got his sock. He's like, "I'm Mr. Tumblies." He's like, give me my damn sock, you goat bastard!" And he runs after him.
It's called a fawn. No, it's not. Whatever. I'm hurting.
I'll watch it. You're already giving me 5 rom-coms to watch. I'll watch Chronicles of Narnia. It's the Chronicles of Narnia.
Listen, the soundtrack from Chronicles of Narnia is so good. Zach, you can at least back me up on this, right?
Yes, it's been ages, but
so good.
I can attest.
The score or the soundtrack?
The score.
The score.
Okay. Next movie is In Bruges, which we talked about this last time a little bit. It's got Colin Farrell. It's a Coen Brothers movie. After a hit on a priest goes horribly wrong, 2 assassins are sent to await further instructions in Bruges, where they celebrate the holidays and live a happy, uneventful life. I've never seen it. Have you guys seen it?
Nope.
All right, we got 2 more movies. Do you want to guess what the next one is?
Hints. Give us the hints. Remember last time you gave us hints.
Hint. Okay, I'll give you the year it came out.
What
2013.
year? Yes. 2013.
I think he goes to Tennessee. Is it Tennessee he goes to during Christmas time?
Iron Man 3?
Iron Man 3. It is Iron Man 3.
Wow. Oh.
I couldn't remember if it was Tennessee. I almost positive it was
Yeah, I
Tennessee.
think it is Tennessee.
Yes, Iron Man 3 is really a Christmas adjacent movie. Not only does it include a scene wherein Tony Stark hides from the bad guys in a small town decorated for the holidays, he also buys a ridiculously big bunny as a Christmas gift for Pepper. That's funny. All right, and the last movie came out in 2017. You'll never guess it. It's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. It's got Daniel Day-Lewis. It's called Phantom Thread.
I've heard of it.
He's like a dressmaker. It's a pretty good movie. I watched it for a class.
What's it about?
Wasn't that one of Daniel Day-Lewis's final films? Well, I don't know what his.
Yeah, it was pretty close. Yeah, because I think he retired shortly after that. While not considered a traditional rom-com, Paul Thomas Anderson's Phantom Thread includes a notable holiday scene for its central couple. Oh my God. Mercurial fashion designer Reynolds Woodcock and his muse Alma as a difficult
You said
man with.
woodcock.
I mean, I did say that. As a difficult man with various proclivities.
Who wrote this?
Yeah, I know. It's the same. This isn't the same article I used last time, but that article before. Actually,
Yeah.
I think this other article I have is like had the same issue. Okay, sorry. Proclivities and a habit of discarding women when they no longer meet his exacting whims. Reynolds seems destined for lifelong bachelorhood. But after ingesting some poisonous mushrooms, he has an hallucination, decides to marry Alma, a beautiful waitress who nursed him back to health.
Huh. Is it streaming anywhere? I wonder.
I don't know.
HBO Max, perhaps? No idea.
Phantom Thread. Let's see. Oh, it looks like it's on Netflix.
Dang.
Neat.
Let's see if it's truly on Netflix though. Oh yeah, it's truly on Netflix. So you can watch it. This has 60 movies, but we won't go through all 60 because that's a lot. It says
So many.
60 best Christmas movies of all times. I'll just kind of fly through it a little bit and maybe stop at important
Just give
ones
us the top 3. What is it? What are the top 3 movies?
Okay, let's do that.
It's a Wonderful Life is number one.
All right, do you want to guess? Is it Jake?
I mean, I think that's
Your
what I was
guess?
going to guess too.
Okay.
That's the whenever you think of classic Christmas films, that's what you think of.
And that was the answer to the
Oh my
list before.
God, you guys, y'all are gonna be so mad. I'm just kidding. It's a Wonderful Life. It's cool.
There you go.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is number 2. I'm gonna do the top 5.
Go for it.
A Christmas Story is number 3. White Christmas is number 4, and Home Alone is number 5. Number 60, I think it was the Santa Claus.
Wow. Buried it down on the
Wait,
bottom.
Wow, that's not
Oh no,
fair.
number 60 was Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was wrong. I was way wrong.
That
59 is Klaus.
claymation, the animated
Yeah.
movie.
Mhm.
Okay.
Christmas in Connecticut is number 58. You like that movie, don't you?
I haven't seen it yet. Is a Holiday Affair on
have.
this list? No, I haven't seen it yet.
You've seen. Oh wait, yeah,
You
you've
told
seen
me
Christmas
about
in Connecticut. No, you were the one that suggested it to me.
Maybe I have seen it once. I just it was forgettable.
It's got Barbara Stanwyck as a food critic who lies about having a farm in New England. Christmas in Connecticut sees a 40-star scramble to put together a fake farm and family to protect her reputation. I do remember that. She was like rich and she had to lie about having like a kid and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you saying? You said, I wonder where what it is?
Holiday Affair, is that on the list?
Let's see.
Control F that.
Ooh,
Control F.
Jack Frost is number 49.
Wow. With Michael Keaton. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I
It's been a
always
very
got-
long time.
I always got that movie and the Campbell soup commercials mixed up as a kid. And I was
Weird.
like, why is Michael Keaton turning into a child?
The Santa Claus is number 32. Edward Scissorhands number 33.
Dang.
That's a great movie.
Is that more a quote unquote Christmas movie? Edward Scissorhands? Is that a quote unquote Christmas movie?
Yeah, I would say so because they don't really like Christmas isn't the theme. It doesn't, but there is Christmas in it. Like she has a Christmas party and stuff like that. But it's not like, we got to do this because it's Christmas. It's just Christmas happens to be there.
Okay.
The
If
Holdovers
Holiday
is
Affair is not on there, is the movie Shop Around the Corner on there?
hang on. The Holdovers is number 30.
What the? This is an updated list.
Yeah, very updated. Okay.
Someone loves the Holdovers.
Ooh, a very Harold and Kumar Christmas is on here. Number 27.
Quite the
Yeah,
variety.
I think these are movies that are also like Die Hard is on this list. So it's not necessarily like Christmas movies. It's just like a bunch of movies that have. Oh, Shop Around the Corner is 22.
That has Jimmy Stewart too. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. Black Christmas is on here, number 20. Remember we talked about Black Christmas last time. Eyes Wide Shut. Ooh, that's on here too. That's a crazy weird movie.
I hope Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Please let it be on that list.
Let's see.
Like any horror movies, that'd be cool.
Charlie Brown Christmas. Yeah, Black Christmas is a horror movie, I think.
Oh, I need to see it then.
Yeah. Eyes Wide Shut isn't a horror movie, but it's very like I'm gonna tell you that It may be better known for its other elements, like say that unforgettable mass participant orgy. But Stanley Kubrick's final feature is at heart a study
What?
of individual desires and marital tensions encased in a velvety Christmas time atmosphere.
So it's
Yeah.
a cerebral Christmas themed movie with an
I
orgy.
don't think it's Christmas theme. I think
A,
Christmas just
a
happens.
cerebral orgy.
Like I don't even think that Christmas is part of the orgy. It's like a masked party and then they all have sex with each other. It's got Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise in it.
What?
Weird.
Y'all never heard of Eyes Wide Shut? All right.
I've heard of Eyes Wide Shut. I've never looked it up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't need to because I just told you. Okay, number 13 is Elf. Thought I'd throw that out there. Number 12 is The Apartment.
Number
Number
12.
11 is number
Wow.
12. Number 11 is Nightmare Before Christmas. The Christmas Carol 1951 is number 10. Muppet Christmas Carol is number 9. Bad Santa's number 8. Miracle on 31st Street is number 7. Scrooge is number 6. And then, of course, I told you the top 5.
I'm surprised about that apartment, to be honest.
Yeah, whatever movie
Being high up there.
Quickly, what are y'all's favorite Christmas movie?
I'll just
Like
mention
actual
one.
Christmas.
I'll just mention
Okay, yeah,
one.
that's
Jingle All the Way as Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jake Lloyd, who played
Sinbad and Sinbad.
Anakin Skywalker as a kid. in
Young,
episode one.
yeah.
And
Yippee!
yes, let's try spinning. That's a cool trick. But anyways, it's about this father is trying to please his son to hopefully not break his promise this time by buying him this cool toy that everyone in the world's going to have on Christmas Day called Turbo Man. And he's on this big wild adventure in Minneapolis trying to find
He
a
also
Turbo Man.
he has like a rival also trying to find the doll.
Sinbad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like it's not just him trying to get the doll because I think if it were just him, it could also be a pretty interesting movie. But the fact that they threw in Sinbad as kind of like this personal rival against Arnold Schwarzenegger made it a little more interesting because Sinbad's funny.
Yeah, he was
Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's hard to take Arnold Schwarzenegger seriously in a movie like this because he did Terminator and stuff like that. I don't know. I like him. I like him in
was
this
the first movie I saw with him in it. So as a kid, I was like, that's all I knew Arnold Schwarzenegger was for his role in that movie as Howard.
Yeah, I do remember seeing Terminator as a kid, but Jingle All the Way is kind of the one I really remember Arnold in because I do like that movie a lot. It's not.
He already been known for his other movies where he's this big guy and he's interacting with kids. It's comedic roles.
Oh, I was just say he interacts with kids in Terminator, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but that movie was excellent. I think a lot of the elements of what different Christmas movies have, they are all in this one. The comedy, the themes.
Well, they have that whole fight
visuals.
between him and all the Santas in the warehouse.
Yeah, I have the extended. I have a special edition, and it has two different versions of that scene. There's an extended version of that fight.
And then there's that huge Santa that he goes up against, that big one. What about you, Jake? You can mention one or several.
Mine would have to be White Christmas, 1954, with Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Rosemary Clooney.
I've never seen it.
It's a wonderful. It's a musical.
Great.
It's like these two show tune guys pretty much meet up with these two sisters who are also in the show tunes, and they get stuck at the failing Vermont inn of their former commanding generals. They were in the military, and they basically get kind of waylaid at their old commanding officer's inn, which is going out of business, and they help get his business back in and get him the support and everything he needs as a way of saying thanks. Of course, love stories to be told as well. So it's a wonderful.
Lots of comedy too. I love that. I think this came again years after the end of World War II, and even though I didn't live during that time, I'm a big World War II guy. But toward the end, where they honor the the commander, the military guy, in that they're just like singing that one song they sung in the very beginning of uh, the movie in Europe. Like it was like pretty warming for me to see that, and you could see like the tears swelling up in his eyes and everything. Wonderful
It's a
movie.
Aw.
very feel good. It's a very moving feel good film.
That's kind of like
Perfect
what
for
Wonka
Christmas.
was.
Holiday Inn's also a good Bing Crosby Christmas movie. You could see it.
So random.
Yeah.
Was it? Did you pull that out before the episode?
No,
For our
that's what I was
listeners,
doing earlier.
he just randomly pulled out a DVD with
A
that.
DVD, yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
sorry.
this this one says Crosby plays a song and dance man who leaves showbiz to run an inn that is open only on holidays. Astaire plays his former partner and rival in love. So it's kind of a similar-ish premise to White Christmas. Some people get it confused.
The only Bing Crosby thing I own is these records. They're 45s. They're Christmas songs. Really cool. It's supposed to be 4 of them in there, but there's only 3. I bought it at a flea market.
Nice.
Yeah, he sings White Christmas too, which is I think the version that everybody knows.
Yeah, I could sing it right now if you want. I don't want to do it for copyright
No,
reasons.
I wouldn't do it. Yeah, but the first time I remember hearing that song was on the Santa Claus, because whenever he goes to try to make the dinner, and it cuts to and it cuts to the commercial, and then I like that song. Okay, I guess mine. I think I've told you guys several times. Is It's a Wonderful Life. Just love that movie. It's got a lot of great themes besides like Christmas, because George Bailey, is considering like committing suicide because he owes $8,000 to the bank to the bank that they had lost. So
Imagine
What
$8,000
was he
bucks.
gonna do? Jump off that bridge?
yeah, he was going to jump off the bridge. $8,000 in 1935.
On
I think,
freaking Christmas Day. Like what a terrible present for your family. Merry Christmas. I'm dead.
according to this, it's $177,000 now.
Oof.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
$8,000 back then was a lot. It's hard to put it into perspective because we didn't live 1935, but all you got to do is say that was a lot of money back then. So, I actually have a top 5. I'll say them real quick. Number 1 is It's a Wonderful Life. Number 2 is The Holdovers. Number 3 is Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 4 is Violent Night, and number 5 is Home Alone. Actually,
Nice list.
yeah.
Appreciate The Holdovers being number 2. I don't have a top 5.
I actually think I want to switch Violent Night to the Santa Claus. I think I like the Santa Claus a lot more. Okay, so yeah, cool. Anything else you guys want to?
Yeah, I'll
Talk
just say
about-
this. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hopefully you all get wonderful presents and
goose!
hold this holiday.
The Christmas goose for everyone.
If you don't
Sorry.
celebrate Christmas, then I wish you lovely holidays and Happy New Year.
Zach, did you see what Jake just posted on the thing?
Detraction. Yes, I saw the black and white
Oh my god, that's cool.
Isn't it?
Godzilla.
I'll go see that.
That's,
Yeah. I'll
is
totally go
it
see
is it going to be
Anyway,
North America? North America?
Hopefully.
Did you read the article?
I just see a Japanese poster.
Yeah, me too. It says 112. So
Might be just Japan.
So the Godzilla -1 is going to have a black and white version. That's what I was freaking out about.
Gojira.
Merry
Minus
Christmas.
one.
Gojira. Okay, so yeah, that was awesome. Good episode, guys. If you don't have anything else, I'll go ahead and end the episode quickly. Thank you for listening. If you want to hit us up on any social media and talk about what you like, what you don't like, have any ideas for episodes, let us know. You can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now called X.
Formerly
and
known as
YouTube.
X.
Or it actually formerly known as Twitter. I love that. Like he felt he needed to make sure that was still on there. Like he's like X, formerly known as Twitter. Anyway, that's
We still do that in the media. We got to say that disclaimer every time we mention X, formerly known as Twitter.
That's so funny. It's like Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
Anyway, and you can actually listen to our episodes pretty much anywhere you get podcasts. So check us out, please. Please. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to beg, but please check us out. And I guess that is where we will end it. Sound good?
Have a fantastic holiday.
Absolutely. Bye. You got to end it, Jake. Bye.